Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing. Hi guys, welcome to the 64th episode of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. So I know I talk so much about doing everything you can to be happy and also how important it is to have a good mindset. I think it's the main ingredient to living a wildly successful life, regardless of what your version may be, and we all have different versions, which is what makes life so fascinating and interesting. But how do we find the energy and the motivation to do it, like consistently? Well, it definitely helps to have a coach. And I've had coaches my whole adult life at different times. I love them. But sometimes it just isn't reasonable to have a coach for whatever reason, whether it's time or money. So how do you stay motivated to be awesome day in and day out on your own? Well, let me start out with saying you probably aren't going to be awesome day in and day out. That was just me getting excited. I don't want you to think that's a reality. But you are going to have periods of awesomeness, along with periods of normalness, and probably one or two periods where it isn't so great. That's just how life works. I mean, the more you practice being awesome and exceptional, though, the more it will become routine. So why is that? Well, it's because you're setting higher standards, and that becomes your new set point, your new standard. Now, a question I have for you today, though, is what if and how could you be your own life coach day to day? Periodically, you'll need to have a mentor, but day to day, how can you be your very own life coach? You know how when you have an accountability partner and you don't want to let them down, or maybe you have a friendly competition going on, how can you create that for yourself? Well, for starters, you have to know exactly what you want. You have to know what results and outcomes you want. Your brain wants clarity. And as soon as you have that, it will search for the answer without you even being aware of it, as long as it knows what you want specifically, a specific goal or outcome. Clarity is power. General goals are just not going to cut it. You have to be specific. So what does a general goal look like, and what does it do for you? Tony Robbins says that you have a goal. If you have a goal that says, well, my goal is to lose weight, or maybe my goal is I wish I had more money. Well, then if you lose half a pound and you make $1 more, then technically your brain will say you've reached your goal. That's basically the outcome you asked for, right? I mean, you lost weight, half a pound, and you have more money, an extra $1. That's a general goal. So you have to be more specific with your outcomes. You have to say, I want to lose 10 pounds in 10 weeks, which means I need to lose 1 pound per week for the next 10 weeks. And you put it on your calendar. You schedule it. A specific money goal would be $10,000 in the next 10 weeks, which means you have to make $1,000 per week for the next 10 weeks. And you schedule exactly how you're going to do that. I think you should only set one goal at a time and work towards that rather than trying to do 5 different things. I mean, you'll find that your standards in other areas will automatically be raised because of you committing to that one specific goal. Now, when I have a coach, we usually have a meeting, say once a week or twice a week, and we set specific goals. And then for our follow-up meeting, we go over each specific goal and how I did with them. Now, I'm a big believer in accountability. It is very helpful. So if you can set your own specific goals and then give them to a friend or a partner and have them hold you accountable, that is ideal. But if not, then you have to set up a meeting with yourself. Maybe choose a Friday or a Sunday, whatever works for you is fine, and go over your goals and results for that week and how you did. Becoming trustworthy to yourself is part of the key to being your own day-to-day life coach. Do not make promises to yourself that you know you're not going to keep. Wildly successful people generally do very well in keeping promises to themselves. Otherwise, they wouldn't be wildly successful. It just doesn't happen by accident. Now, big question for you. Listen to this. Can you trust yourself? I mean, what a question, right? Now, I believe you want to trust yourself, and I know you can trust yourself. So start off this next week with attainable, specific, time-restricted goal and see how that works. What is something you've been wanting to do? We all have something. If you are listening to this podcast, especially, you have something you are trying to go for. Figure out the first step towards making that happen and do it. For example, I have a goal to really focus on my mindset and growth. And one way to do that is to journal daily. I wasn't doing that. Well, now it's been a part of my morning routine every day for the last over a year and a half. Now, why is that? It's because I made it easy, attainable, and enjoyable, and I set specific times for it. How did I do that? I bought a journal that is beautiful. I love it. I love the way it feels. I love the way it looks. It's so nice to the touch. I have a pen that I keep inside, and I love the way that pen writes. And I make sure that I have plenty of those so that I never run out. I also keep my journal in a basket next to where I have my coffee. And I make sure that I get up early enough to make that happen before I go to the gym. Now, eventually, things become habit like that, which it is for me. It's just automatic. But those first few weeks, it's where you have to use some discipline. And if you make it easy for yourself, it's just like when they say when you're wanting to go to the gym, have your clothes set out. I mean, things like that. Make it easy. You know, that's the way to be your own life coach. You never want to let yourself down, right? You are the most important person in your life. And I know that's controversial for some to hear or even say. And it's not easy or comfortable a lot of times for people to be able to say that. But it is very true. And it has to be true in order for you to be a true value to others. And also, think about how you'll inspire others. You know, this whole podcast is about you being the best version of you and living your version of a wildly successful lifestyle. And this podcast can be a fun pep talk, or it can really change your life. It only depends on one person, and that's you. So what is it that you've been wanting to change or accomplish but haven't been serious about it yet? Let's do it this week. This is the week to do that. Tony Robbins says, don't leave an inspired moment without taking massive action. So this week, I challenge you to, number one, set a very specific goal. Number two, write it down in your day planner or set alarms on your phone. Put it on sticky notes on your mirror, wherever it is that you set the intention for your day. And number three, put a meeting on your calendar with your coach, especially if that's you, to review your week and how you did on your goal. Remember, trusting yourself to do what you say you're going to do will depend on the quality of your life overall. You can do this. I can't wait to see what you accomplish. Tag me on Instagram at @HeidiDawson. I cannot wait to see what you say. I love you guys, and we'll talk with you in a few days. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.